Hello everybody and welcome to What If Superboy Was in My Hero Academia. I mean, that's the name, but it's more of a My Hero Academia and DC crossover series where I mesh the two together. This story will be kind of important to my main multiverse stuff, so I hope people check it out. For those of you who are new here, please give this video a chance. And if not, you can always check out more of my other videos because I don't expect this one to do too well because it didn't do too well last time, but I'm hoping for the best. That said, please hit that like button, subscribe, check my Discord in the description below, and enjoy the video after that intro. About 70 years ago, 27.1 light years away, a planet, Krypton, died. A couple people survived, but not many. An infant called Kal-El, along with a couple others, were sent to a planet where they would be safe. But there were some complications. 43 years ago, Kal-El's pod crashed on Earth, near a small town in Kansas. He was found by two farmers who raised him to be a kind man. At a young age, this boy's abilities manifested and were confused for a quirk. His abilities were seen as a blessing. As a result, he was sent to the best school for heroes around, UA High. There, he trained to be a champion of man. After he finished his studies, he returned to his home country, where he became the hero known as Superman, says Lois Lane to her 7-year-old son, tucking him in. "What happened then?" asked the boy half asleep. "Your father protected us from many threats. Along the way, he met other heroes who shared his ideals and faced a threat that they couldn't deal with individually. They banded together to defeat it, keeping us safe from danger. That's how the Justice League was formed," she says. Clark walks into the room and asks, "Am I late?" "Yeah, you are, Smallville. You know, being as fast as you are, you'd think you'd be able to tuck your son in at night," she whispers at him, a bit judgmental. "Sorry, I was handling an emergency downtown. Got held up," Clark says, walking towards his son. "Care to comment on that, Superman?" Lois asks, leaving the room. "Sure, just give me a minute. I'll tell you all about it," Clark answers as Lois heads to the living room. "It'll be an exclusive," she says from the other room. Clark kisses his son on the forehead and says, "Sorry I'm late. I'm sorry if it seems that I'm not around enough, but I have a responsibility to everyone, to keep everyone safe. A responsibility you might have to face someday too. I love you, son." "Love you too," says the boy, half asleep as Clark leaves the room. Time goes by. 4 years later, John, on the field of his grandparents' farm, goes to fix a fence with Pa Kent. "You see, John, it's as simple as that. All it takes is some time and dedication and you can fix anything. It's always important to make sure everything around the farm is in tip-top shape, because when things aren't in tip-top shape, accidents are more prone to happen," says Pa Kent. "But why did you need me here?" asks John, a bit bored. "You see, these old muscles aren't what they used to be. I'm getting old, and that means I need all the help around I can get," explains Pa. "Then why not get Dad to do it?" asks John. "He likes doing this kind of stuff." Believe me, when he was young, he wanted nothing more than to ignore his chores and go around and play with his friends," responds Pa. "And besides, nowadays he's too busy being the world's beacon of hope to work on the farm. If you want to go play with Goldie a bit, go ahead, son. I think I got this covered," says Pa as he hammers a nail into the fence. John runs after the cat, wanting to play a bit. The cat starts running away, going after a nearby mouse, and thus the games begin. After a bit of running, Goldie catches the mouse. John's about to catch up, but a falcon comes down wanting to steal Goldie's prey, getting Goldie in the process. "Goldie!" screams John in distress, scared for his pet. He grabs a rock and throws it at the bird, but he misses. He squints his eyes, trying to better see the bird, fearing for his pet's life. It's at this moment that John's heat vision awakens, shooting out and hitting the bird, but sadly also his pet. Pa notices the light show from afar, whispering, "Huh, so he's special too then." John runs to his cat, seeing it dead on the floor, burned to a crisp. He starts crying. This is the day his first Kryptonian powers manifested. Over the next 3 years, a couple more powers awakened in moments of absolute stress. He manifested his super speed when Kathy Brandon, his friend and classmate, was about to be hit by a bus. He reacted quickly, managing to push her out of harm's way before anything could happen. His super strength came when there was a car accident during a villain rampage on his way back from school. He heard someone calling out for help, so instinctively reacted, jumping in to help and pulling a car off of someone. Living in Metropolis for a long time, John constantly observed heroes and wanted to be like them. He didn't take notes or anything, but he admired them and trained a bit every day, striving to be just like them. His favorite hero was always his father, the world's beacon of hope, Superman. For most of his childhood, John would tell his dad in the moments they had together that he wanted to be a hero like him. "Are you sure? This job is pretty demanding," answered Clark every time. "Yes," responded John. Every time. Knowing how much his son wanted to follow in his footsteps, Clark prepared to send a letter of recommendation, but having to deal with so many emergencies around the city, not to mention the country, he ended up forgetting to send the letter. To make up for the fact, Clark started making more time to train his son in how to properly use his abilities, even teaching him how to speak Japanese, which John quickly picked up because of one of his Kryptonian abilities. On February 24th, now being 15 years old, John is taken by his father to UA in order to participate in the UA entrance exam. Superman flies him over to Japan, dropping him off close to the UA building minutes after they left Metropolis. "Good luck, John. Do your best today, okay?" says Clark. "But what if I don't manage to get in? What if I don't manage to follow in your footsteps?" asked John, doubtful of his abilities. "If you follow your heart and do your best, I'm sure you'll succeed. You do great, son. You can't deal in what-ifs. Always focus on the here and now. That said, I do want you to know that I'll still be proud of you if you don't get into UA. Find another hero school that's just as good," says Clark, kneeling down to make eye contact while trying to comfort his son. "But I won't be following your footsteps," retorts John. "You aren't. Even now, you're following your own path. Sure, it may be similar to mine, but it's your own. There's no way you'll get the same teachers as me and have the same experiences. You're a different person, John, but just as special," says Clark, hugging his son. "Now go in there and pass the entrance exam. I'll be rooting for you." "Okay," says John. John starts walking towards the gates of UA, but before he gets far, Clark says, "Aren't you forgetting something?" "My backpack!" exclaims the boy, walking to his father, who's holding it. "You have your lunch in there, as well as your sports uniform, and everything you might need for the written exam. Call me when you want me to pick you up," says Clark. "You know, I'm too old to be reminded of these things," says John as his father flies away. John puts his backpack on and walks into the grounds of UA. He spots a bunch of interesting people, recognizing two of them that he's met somewhere before. John sees a boy falling, but before he can do anything, the boy is helped by a girl who uses her quirk on him to stop him from falling. John takes the written exam, getting a pretty decent score. After, he gets the President Mike explanation of the practical exam. During the explanation, a boy with blue hair and glasses calls out the green-haired boy for mumbling too much. That's kinda mean. I mean, it's a way to deal with the nerves. He wasn't being that loud. thinks John, seeing the situation unfold. President Mike finishes explaining the exercise, and all examinees head to their respective battle centers. John himself was assigned to Battle Center E, but before going there, he's first guided to a changing room to get into his sports clothes. He opens his backpack and spots something different than what he packed, along with a note. Not exactly a costume, not just yet, but I hope it gets the feeling across. Do your best, son, John reads. He grabs the clothes, finding blue sports pants and a Superman jacket. Ah, Superman fan then, comments one of the other contestants. Of course, answers John with a smile. He puts the uniform on, being a bit nervous, not sure if he can live up to it. He then heads to the battle center, where he starts trying to calm his nerves while waiting for the exercise to begin. He starts stretching a bit. Right, let's start! There are no countdowns in real battle. Go, go, go! President Mike suddenly shouts. John, along with everyone else, runs straight into the battlefield, ready to take on the challenge. Going at 37 kilometers per hour, John starts looking for robots. He spots two two-pointers and rushes at them, smashing one and burning the other one with his heat vision. Wait, aren't those Superman's powers? Asks a random guy. Huh, so he isn't just a random kid then, says a blonde boy who's using the quirk of another contestant. He looks around for more robots and rushes at one just as it was about to hit a guy who's eating some sugar. Thanks, he says as he walks away. No problem, says John, jumping into the air to attack another robot that's further away, landing on it before it can attack a girl who's having some trouble. For most of the exam, John helps people out. Destroying robots, sure, but mostly those that have people overwhelmed. After 8 minutes of destroying robots, he's accumulated at least 43 villain points. It's at this point that the zero-pointer shows up, destroying the city. Many students ignore the robot, others run away, being in close proximity. John spots a cat in the middle of the battlefield that can't really move, having a broken leg. The cat turns into a human and then into a tiger, but it still has trouble moving around, having 2 crushed legs. John runs as fast as he can towards the boy. He jumps at the robot and punches it in the chest area. The impact dents the robot and sends him back, but isn't enough to destroy it. Upon landing on the ground, John says, "Please turn into a cat." The other boy barely manages to hear him and obliges. John grabs this beast boy and leaps out of the way, getting the boy to safety just as the exam ends. "Are you alright?" asks John, setting the boy down. "Do I look alright to you?" snaps the boy, pointing at his legs. "Sorry, legs are killing me. I didn't mean to snap at you. Thanks for saving me," says the beast boy, calming down. "I'm John. Nice to be able to help," says John, offering his hand to Garfield. "Let's take you to the nurse's office. Garfield Logan," he says, introducing himself. "That honestly sounds great. I hear the nurse here is amazing." They do just that, going to the nurse's office. John drops Garfield off there and calls his father to pick him up. A bit over a week later, Lois knocks on the door to John's room. John, while doing his homework, asks, "What is it?" "That's kinda rude," says Lois, opening the door. "Got something for you." John lays his pencil on the table and turns around to see his mother handing him a letter. "Hope it's good news," says Lois, leaving the room. John opens the envelope, expecting a letter, but all he finds inside is a small disc. He places it on the desk and a hologram of All Might pops up. "Hey, it's that #1 hero from Japan. Might guy is something almighty? All Might," he comments. "Congratulations, young Johnathan Kent," says All Might. "You have passed the UA entrance exam with flying colors. You did so well you ended up with the #1 spot. You had a decent score on villain points alone, having 43 points, but your heroic actions during the test pushed you over the edge to the point of having the #1 spot. By a significant amount, I may add. Apologies, I have to keep these short, so allow me to say once more congratulations, and please give my best to your father." John walks into the living room. "So how did you do?" asks Clark. Like you weren't using your super hearing, comments John. I wasn't, says Clark. You can debate about this later, just give us the news, says Lois. I got in, says John with a huge smile on his face. Guess we'll have to get packing then, comments Lois. Oh, and the almighty guy sends his regards, says John. And that's the end of the video. For once it was a shorter video. I didn't know what to add to the script to make it a bit longer. I'm not sure if this is more enticing or less, and I know not many people are going to watch it or even get to this point, because the last version of Superboy didn't do so well, so I'm not expecting too much from this version. Although it's going to be kind of important, the series as a whole, to my overall plans for the future. That said, I hope you all enjoyed this episode. Please hit that like, subscribe, and those buttons. Share the video because I want it to do well, even though I don't expect it to. I want it to. And yeah, check out my Discord too in the description below. That said, I want to share a bit of John's powers with all of you. For example, he has heat vision at this point, super strength, super speed. Those are his Kryptonian powers, but he also has a kind of sixth sense from his mother's quirk that allows him to more or less tell when people are lying to him or being deceitful or something. So that's a cool thing to have as a superhero. That said, he will unlock his other powers throughout the story, like flight, super breath, X-ray vision, and all that stuff. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this new version of the story, and see you all next episode when he gets into school for the first time. Bye!